It's time for you to come out of hiding. Do you remember being silenced, gaslit, marginalized, told that you were too much? You think too much, you talk too much, you smile too much, you're too nice, you're too honest, you're too good. Perhaps you remember these things, or perhaps your brain has cleansed your mind of it. And it's a painful memory because of your empathy, because of your deep emotions, because of your deep need and desire for connection with others. But we're going to talk about that today. This is an opportunity to come out of the shadows. For too long, those of us who came here not to be good and to go to heaven after we die, those of us who came here to change the trajectory of the human story, have been marginalized, treated poorly, taught that we were not good enough. We contracted the spiritual illness of self-doubt, self-limitation, self-hatred, self-denial. And it was promoted and perpetuated by our religions, our societies, the sciences, psychology, all of these things. When you were little, because you were young, innocent, empathic, you were vulnerable to these sorts of attacks. And that's just par for the course. When we come here, that's just what happens. But being a child, what made you stand out is that you had an ancient spiritual maturity that no one could explain. You knew more than you should have known for your age, and you had a wisdom, honesty, and insight that embarrassed most of the older adults around you. It made them uneasy. They did what they could to silence you and shut you down. If this is your story, then stay tuned. Because by the end of this video, you will know that you're not alone. You'll learn ways to overcome the years of self-denial, self-doubt, self-gaslighting, and you'll remember how to tell those voices in your head to get the heavens out. Get the hell out, actually. You want to keep the heaven inside. You'll also remember how to tell the voice of the Most High from the voices of doubt, denial, and spiritual abuse that have taken residence in your heart and in your head. So, a quick intro. How did we get here? How did we get here? How did we get to this point where the chosen, the children of the Most High God, were marginalized, silenced, killed off, literally, for centuries? Well, we had a golden age in humanity that lasted 24,000 years, somewhere in there. Or it came to an end about 24,000 years ago. And then 12,000 years ago was the part. But anyway, without going into the detailed history, after the complete and final fall of that golden age, subsequent generations of humans had to learn to survive. So refinement, spiritual maturity, opulence, beauty, intellect, all of these things became secondary. People were just not interested anymore. They became a thing of the past. It was like, okay, that's golden age stuff. That's the ancient stuff. That's what they talked about. And these things became Atlantis and Shambhala and Asgard and all these magical places, right? But they were referring to a real age, a real time in human history. So spiritual maturity, all the refined human characteristics became a thing of the past. Hello, Mansoor. Thank you and welcome. Make sure you drop a like. So the world became ruled by brute force and lower intellect. So humans became more brutish, savage over the last 6 to 12,000 years. Consensus and group influence became the norm. Exceptionalism, optimalism, apex nature slowly became taboo. And if you go through the history of cultures, they actually would kill and eat anyone that they perceived to be divine in places like Saharan parts of the world. If you know Credo Mutuo, you know about this. So a lot of us had to go into hiding. We had to stop showing, we had to stop shining, we had to stop being the beautiful apex humans that we are. And so the very last vestiges of the Golden Age were destroyed by the French, thank you, Frenchies, about the time when they got rid of the monarchy. That was the last blow to the apex human age. We have been in a dark age for about 6 to 12,000 years, but the very last vestiges of it were destroyed by the French. The French brought it into the monarchy, and our world spiraled into the darkest part of a 12,000-year dark age. But the tide is turning. More and more humans with spiritual maturity and apex nature are revealing themselves. Monarchy became rogue, and that's why everything kind of fell into disrepair. Now, there have been a social elite. They are not the true apex. They are not the true elite. They are just people that have power and influence over the brutes that they rule, the slaves that they've created. So the rapid shift in technology over the last 100 years and the integration of artificial intelligence and quantum computing has spawned a new era. This video is your permission to come out of the shadows, to come out of hiding, to take center stage in a world destined for beauty, abundance, peace, and prosperity. We are going into a golden age, and it's time for us to show up. All right? So first and foremost, if you had those experiences of growing up, feeling alone, especially in your family, you might have grown up in a family where you always felt like this is not my family. And I know these people and they feed me and they know me and they know me, but this is not my family. Then I want to tell you that you're not alone. A lot of us felt that. I don't even know if I look up there or look down here, but a lot of us felt that. And I can say, for me, I always felt like I was not in my family. Like I knew that the people that were raising me were important, they mattered, but it was like I know that's not my family. And um, perhaps you knew that the world in which you were living was somehow off. Something was off. People didn't seem to understand you. From time to time, the loneliness that you felt, even among family, even among groups of people that knew your name and hung out with you and knew some history of you, you still felt lonely around those people, completely isolated, completely alone. But from time to time, that loneliness might get lifted because perhaps a stranger would come into your life and see you, understand you, appreciate things about you that no one in your family understood. No one in your family could get. No one in your community understood. Sometimes a distant relationship or a distant relative would show up and provide you momentary relief from the loneliness, and they would actually see you. They would actually understand you. But as soon as time would pass, and as soon as your loneliness was relieved for just a moment, and as soon as you were seen for just a moment, it was like that person disappeared. They either died, or they moved away, or they were a stranger, and so that you just never saw them again. So it was as if the people that were there to actually see you and love you and support you and let you know that you weren't alone, it's like they just were passing through your life. But everybody else just stayed and hung out and drained you and was around you all the time. I was saying hi to Juice World. All right. So I'm going to delete people like this. Okay. All right. All right. So this aloneness that you felt growing up, the solitude among the crowd or the loneliness among family members and friends would return once these people, these strangers, these angels left your life. And I'm speaking from personal experience, but I know that other people have experienced this because other people have shared this with me. And these are people that I feel the deepest connection with. And they have this light in them that I don't see in almost anyone else. And I could probably, that's why, look, people ask me, where am I from? Well, I've lived everywhere and nowhere. I'm from everywhere and nowhere. I've lived so many places, and my life has always been in movement, constantly in change and shifting. And everywhere I go, it's like there'll be one or two people out of hundreds that seem like their family. They seem like I've known them forever. And we connect, we have a great time, and then our connection disappears. And I'm here to let you know it's time that we come out of the shadows. We were born and designed to have that kind of experience. We came into this world knowing that we would be strangers in our home world, so to speak. So if you've had this experience, you knew in your heart that something was amiss, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. Even as a child, you knew that something was off. You were somehow different. No one really validated you, but you could read their body language because it betrayed their silence. There were people that would, even in your family, that every once in a while would slip and say something like, "Yeah, you were always different." Or there was something about you when you were really little that no one could ever put their hands on. They could never put their fingers on. Yeah, you were always wise beyond your years. They would slip and say it, or they would show with their body language when what you said caused a light bulb to go off in their head, even though you were 3 years old or one. I mean, you were just starting to talk. I've known children that young who will say one or two phrases, and I'm like, what? So I've observed this in children as well. So because everyone around you said that it was all in your head, you were being too much, you were being dramatic or whatever. When you noticed these things, you tried to point it out. No one would verify, no one would validate, but you could see it. You began to doubt yourself, criticize yourself, and gaslight yourself the way your community did, the way the people around you did. This began a pattern of spiraling down into self-doubt, self-hatred, and self-denial. You begin to ignore and doubt the gifts that God gave you to share with humanity. And this is the whole trap. See if we have valuable interaction. No. So this was kind of the trap. You came here with this beautiful light to share with humanity. And from the time you were little, it was shut down, covered up, hidden under a bushel basket. And after a while of being alone, of feeling marginalized, of feeling like you were just a stranger in your own world, you began to say, well, I can't take this anymore. And this happened at a very young age. So the thing that you have to realize is that you're not alone. You came here with a specific mission and a purpose. You knew it was not going to be easy, but you knew that at some point you were going to break through. The light would shine through. You would see through the darkness. You would remember your mission and all of the resources that you needed, all of the power that you needed, all the confidence and clarity and composure and enthusiasm you needed to come back. You would get back on flow and you would complete the mission. That's what this video is here to remind you of. So the Most High has always spoken to you directly. You're the one that people go to when they're in a dark time, when they're in a dark place. They come to you. You have no one to go to except for the Most High God. And you may have all kinds of silly philosophies in your head about what it is. Well, I'm an atheist, or I'm an agnostic, and I pray to the spirits, or I talk to my ancestors. It doesn't matter what you call it. It is a power source that sent you here to complete something. Something that pertains to the beauty, the opulence, and the flow, the pleasure of the golden age that is unfolding. We are not here to make it happen. We are here as part of the relief team. We are part of the team that's making it happen. We're part of the team. We're not everything. We're part of the team. So keep that in mind. It's not all up to you. You're not alone, is what I'm saying. So the Most High has always spoken to you directly. Everyone that is in a dark place or needs help, or they really need to talk to God, they come to you. It's very rare that people have a direct link to the Most High like you do. Most of the people in your life know that you have that spark, even if they don't validate it, see it, because a lot of them are draining you of it. A lot of them are using you for it. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. Here, we are spiritually mature. We're not blaming, shaming, guilting, or tearing people down. We're recognizing what is. And we're saying, hey, it is what it is. We're bigger than that. We're older than that. We're better than that. So like I said, the Most High has always spoken to you. So you have to get back to the brass tacks. You have to get back to the core. You have to get back to the primary baseline. You must get silent, still, and solitude in order to hear the Most High again. Find scripture that uplifts your spirit. And I probably should have put this one later, but I'm just going to lay it out first. You have to find scripture that uplifts your spirit. I'm talking about the ancient texts, whatever speaks to you. The Bible is the best one, but you can use all the other books. They have some value. There's Jeremiah 33:3, which says, "Call unto me, and I will show you a new thing, a great and mighty thing which you've never seen before." Isaiah 43:18-19, "Forget the things of the past, for I'll show you a new thing." I'll, make basically I will make abundance come from places where there is no life. And right now in the world there is no life. That's what we hear. Isaiah 41:10-11, "Fear thou not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. Whoever comes against you to try to hurt you and harm you and tear you down will be ashamed and confounded. They will be confused. They will be dismayed. They will be destroyed. Don't worry about it." Isaiah 55:56 tells us, look, we are here to inhabit houses, to build houses and inhabit them, to plant vineyards and eat fruit of them. We are here to bring water into the desert and springs in the wilderness. We are here to bring life back to this dead little rock they call earth. Isaiah, excuse me, Mark 11:22-26 reminds us that whatever we believe in our heart and speak from our mouth and doubt it not is true. It comes into reality. So speak highly of yourself. Philippians 4:13 says, you can do all things through the interface, which is Christ, that connects you to your source, which is the Most High God. All things are possible to you. Not all good things, not all things that society tells you you're supposed to do, but all things. So take time to recall. This is where the power is going to happen. Take time to recall when the Most High spoke to you. And you know those moments in your life. I don't even have to describe. You know when the greatest power in the universe that sent you here spoke to you. You know it. You remember it. When you got a new wind or a thought that changed the direction of your life and led you to more purpose, abundance, and joy, that's when the Most High was speaking to you. Remember that voice. And also remember that it never tears you down. It never uses guilt. It never uses fear or coercion or shame or blame. It speaks to you clearly. And this is where the power is going to come in for you. Notice when you are using shame, blame, guilt, and fear on yourself. Because when you hear that voice coming up from within you, that's the imposter. That is the Lord of this earth. That is the God of this world. That is Satan or Adalaboth, if you want to go deep. Okay? Again, we have no fear. We have no concern about him. The gummy worms need to worry about him, but not us. Okay? We are here. We're tearing down his kingdom. That's why he doesn't like us here. But he's going to get redeemed later on, so we don't have to worry about that. He knows why we're here, and he sees the mark on us. And when you recognize and come out of the shadows and recognize your oneness with the Most High God, then he has to chill. Then he has to leave you alone. He's forced to. He doesn't have any other choices. He submits to the Most High. Every knee shall bow. Every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. So don't worry about Satan. He's part of the team too, but he's a lower individual. Okay, so don't worry about him. So let's see. We got a little. Dorothy says, "What's your Namer? What's my name?" It is Lemuriulum. All right. Virtual says hi. All right. Boss spin facts. Thank you, Virtual Freak. Thank you all for your comments. So like I said, there are a couple of tools I'm going to share with you that are going to jumpstart your power. They're going to bring you out of the shadows. As a child of the Most High God, you are protected, you are provided for, you are guided. You have an entire support team waiting for you to say, hey, I need your help. But they will not move until you give them permission. They came into this life with you. I was given 7 angels, I think. And again, angels I'll explain what that is. You know what they are in your spirit. But we'll use the personification. We'll use the terminology that is in the zeitgeist. You were given a team of killers. I'm talking focused, clear warrior sages of the universe. And they've got your back. They're all around you. And they've been watching you since you were a child. They love you, and they will do whatever it takes to protect you. They will connect you with the things that you need, the connections that you need. You have an entire team. But you came here and you agreed to be confused. You agreed to be lied to. You agreed to be dismayed and confounded. But the Most High has a team supporting you right now. All you have to do is raise your hand and say, I need your help. Help me. I give you permission to step in now. And I can tell you, before you call, I will answer. While you are yet speaking, I will hear. That is what the Most High is saying to his chosen children. It's time that we come out of the shadows. It's time that we rewrite this human story. Satan had his time. It's okay. But now we rise. Now we wake up. So these next two techniques I'm going to share with you will change your story. And by the way, you have to let go of the identity that your parents gave you, that society gave you. Again, if your parents were children of the Most High, they gave you sonship with the Most High. I mean, you already had that coming here. Daughtership with the Most High. You already had that coming here. But it's likely you were raised in a family that didn't understand you and was here to just basically sap the spiritual power that was flowing through you. So, this is how you connect. Play this game every day. Daily list the blessings, the favor, the alignments, and the flow moments that God puts into your path. And you can list this on paper if you like. You can list it in your mind. But think of these things while you go to sleep every single day. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your many blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. I was fortunate that I had a family that kept me in the Bible, that kept me in the scriptures and things like that, but I was alone. There was a special spark that God put in me, but he put me in a perfect family to shape who I have become. So I am deeply grateful to the Most High for putting me where he did. So beautifully done, and I'm grateful to him for that. But play the game of looking for the blessings, looking for the favor. Tell yourself every morning when you get up, today, I've given God permission to bless me and favor me more than ever before. I'm going to count these things up and let me see how many I can find by the end of the day. The more you do that, the more you open up the portals for God to pour the mountains of blessing and favor and protection and wisdom and insight that he has for you. You are his precious child. Trust that. And then when you get to the end of the day, think of all the blessings that have come your way as you go off to sleep. Awaken every morning with trust, knowing that you will encounter even greater and newer blessings and favor. Again, go back to Isaiah 43, verse 18 and 19, where it says, forget the things of the past, for I show you a new thing. But really importantly, focus on Jeremiah 33, 333. And if you're down with 333 and angel numbers, drop that in drop that in the comment section below. But Jeremiah 33:3 says, call unto me and I will answer you and show you great and mighty things which you have not seen. There are blessings that God has for you that you can't even imagine. You can't even fathom. So open yourself up to them. All right. So play those games, those two games of finding the blessings, favor, and alignments and flow, and thinking of those in the morning when you wake up, or excuse me, when you go to sleep at night, and then planning for more to come into your life during the day. Tell God, look Father, look Source of Life. You have my permission to bless me and favor me more than you've ever done before. Surprise and amaze me today. Let's see what you got. Now, God already has your permission. Just you can say, God, you got my permission. Let's go. All right. And it will get delicious. You'll have a really fun time with it. This is when you come out of the closet, when you come out of the closet of God's chosen, you come out of hiding. Life, you will, yes, there's a target on your back, but you've got a support team. Rely on them. Say, Most High, hey, yo, tell my support team they can handle my light work, handle my light work for me, and they will take care of you. So that's what I have to say about this. Look, you came into this world to do great things, and the challenges that will come your way are challenges that you are made for. You are more than equipped for. You are not alone. We are all here for a great work. There is a beautiful world that is unfolding, God is creating it. God is withdrawing the power from wickedness and evil and immorality, and he is flooding the world with purity, power, purpose, productivity, prosperity, peace. But it starts with you. It starts with your life. Let it come to you first. We cannot be winners in this world if we're continuing to identify ourselves as losers. The Christ that they preach of the man dying on the cross, that's the Antichrist. That's Satan, okay? That's not the Lord of creation. Christ's birth, Jesus' birth was his real sacrifice. His death was his release from this world, his release from the physical meat puppet suit. That was his memory. He allowed the body to be crucified. He allowed himself to go through the crossing so that he could remember his divinity. And that's what this video is about for you. Let's see if we got some. Yeah. All right. So, you are not alone. God sent you here to bring heaven, not to qualify for it. We're not here to qualify for heaven. We are here to bring it. So, come out of the shadows. It's time to bring heaven to earth. Heaven can be the courageous and powerful kindness that you show with evidence-based compassion. Heaven can be the rational selfishness that you show when God provides you with that love relationship you've been praying for your whole life. When God provides you with the money that you've needed to really get on the ground and have the liberty to create that beauty that he has for you. When those gifts come to you, you have the clarity and the rational selfishness to steward them and not allow them to be thrown to the dogs and the swine. So heaven is your exceptional wealth. It's the relationship. It's the exceptional health. It's the purpose that you have. It's the career that changes lives. God is pouring that into your life. God has mountains of blessings for you. So trust that the world is already healed by your joy, your abundance, your liberty and flow. Your suffering will do nothing for no one. Jesus already did it. Forget about it. That's not your job. Your job is to come here and to win. Your job is to live the best life here and now. God favors you, so stop hiding it. Let God's blessings flow in. Stay Apex. So, like I said, my name is Dr. Merlin Sy, and in 2010, God shattered the false identity that I was given growing up in this dark and dismal, dense world. God woke me up, and that's why I wrote the book, Hey God, Wake the Fuck Up, to help the chosen reconnect with God for real. So nowadays, I create the space where God speaks to his chosen. This channel isn't for spiritual snowflakes or victim-minded light chasers. It is for the apex humans like you, God's chosen, who are sent here to restore God's earthly empire and reawaken the golden age. Remember, you have a support team, and I have a support team. And I am thanking my support team for being here for me. So, guys, do your thing. If your soul remembers the mission, do not be afraid to step forward with courage and boldness. Welcome home. Stay Apex.